Hey man, have you been out of town? I haven't seen you in like 4 or 5 weeks.
No man, I've just been practicing more than usual. My teacher said that I was ready to learn Lenny's 7 choruses from line up, so I have not been making any sessions, or hanging out.
Isn't that the track where Lenny recorded the rhythm section by themselves? Then slowed down the tape, and played along with the bass and drums? And then played the tape back at regular speed?
Yes, that is the same one. When Lenny slowed the tape down, man, he was able to really get to the pure essence of the inner pulse, an implied polyrhythmic feeling that resulted from the rhythm section playing at an up-tempo, and Lenny digging their scene, man, and then reacting to it improvisationally at the slowed-down tempo.
Yeah, man, Lenny was like the Les Paul of esoteric, tape manipulating, non-commercial, post-bop, cool, inner-directed, piano-based, pure jazz, as it exists when filtered through a Reichian therapy module. So man, I thought that I would see you at the usual session scene in Queens and Westchester a couple of times at least.
Man. You really wanted to make it to the scene, man. I thought that I could make it last Friday night, but I kept getting stuck on this one phrase that Lenny was playing over the D tonic minor chord in line up, man. You know the one I mean, man. It goes like this. Ba, dee da, do da da do, dee da yada, booby dee biarida, booda ya. So man, how was the scene, man who made it to the sessions? Did anyone ask about me, or notice that I was not there? My teacher said that I should not let anyone know that I am learning Lenny's choruses until I have them down, man. He says that then, when I play them at a session, it will really fuck everyone up. And they will start to see how pure I am, man, and how pure my teacher must be.
I made it to 3 sessions since I last saw you. That tenor player, who plays with my teacher's bassist, drum student's pianist, made it to the session. He sounded really great, man. His thing was kind of like Lee's really pure lines, the way he played before he went with Kenton, along with Warren's polyrhythmic, across the bar line, altissimo shit. But with Lenny's ostinato, hemila, minor third phrasing over the dominant chords. He sounded really killing, man.
Wow, man, the shit is so fucking deep, man. I played a jazz wedding gig with that same tenor dude last year. Man, the music was so deep, man. The bride's father was a student of one of Warren's students, Weed Connections, teacher, who had studied with Don Farrara. This guy had moved from the West Coast when Warren moved here, and then back to the West Coast when Warren moved back again. He now is living in Williamsburg. We played Lenny's line based on the bridal march. It is named Here.
Well, man, I have been meaning to learn that line, man. I already have learned Lenny's line, based on the changes of The Bride Cuts the Cake. It is called Cuts.
Yeah, man, Lenny really felt jazz, the way it is meant to be felt, even as it relates to weddings. My favorite Tristano wedding line is the one based on Daddy's Little Girl. Lenny does it as a major to minor conversion, and calls it Daddy's Little Girl in minor.
Have you heard the latest rumor that is going around the scene, man? I heard it from this pianist, who comes from the Federated States of Micronesia, which is a sub-region of Oceania, comprising thousands of small islands in the western Pacific Ocean. She originally came to the States to attend the Berklee School of Music, but after only 3 weeks, she heard the original 1949 Tristano sextet recording of Wow, and flipped out. Supposedly she ran out of the dorm in her bare feet, got on a bus for New York City, took a cab to 317 East 32nd Street. The driver misunderstood her, and took her to 317 East 32nd, in Brooklyn. She made it back to Manhattan, but when she finally got to 317 East 32nd Street, all she could find was a Korean day spa, where Lenny's studio used to be. I wonder what, though, she expected to find anyway. Lenny moved from that studio over 50 years ago, and he died in 1978.
Wow man, that is so fucked up man. But that is a lot of information you have just given to me. I can't really process it right now, as I am currently memorizing the 672 chord formations that Sal Mosca used to teach to his students. This trombone player who studied with Sal gave me the whole list of inversions for a quarter ounce of pretty decent weed that I had been saving for my next gig. So what is the rumor? You have not yet told it to me.
Well man, I heard that more unreleased tracks of Lenny's playing have surfaced. I really can't believe it, but supposedly he is playing a Fender Rhodes electric piano, and the music is straight eighth note based, not swinging man. The rumor is that Lenny, after trying out 300 pianos, started screaming and pulling his hair out, saying that all the great pianos were history, and that he might just as well play a fucking electric piano. Fortunately he found a great Bechstein 9-foot Grant a few weeks later, but he forgot about the Rhodes straight eighth tapes. I was told that after the piano debacle, Lenny listened to the Supremes for 6 days in a row, non-stop, then rose from his chair, wrote a few lines based on their songs, and recorded them with the Rhodes electric piano.
Wow man, Lenny is so fucking deep man, and Diana Ross is so deep man. When she played Billie Holiday, I really believed that she was a junkie man. So man, how is your large wooden practice box structure that you built in your parents' basement working out? Have you seen any improvement in your playing yet?
Well man, it really has changed things for me man. I can now practice any time of the day or night without disturbing my parents. I'm now 43 years old, and my mother and father are each at least 85 years old. They hope that one day, when my teacher says that I'm ready to stop lessons, that I can find my own apartment, and they can quit their jobs and retire. When I get home from my part-time bank guard job, I start playing right away. Usually after I play my quarter note scales at 60 beats per minute, I then smoke a little, and then I start to work on 4 tunes. By the time my mom calls me for dinner, I usually have finished practicing the melodies of the 4 tunes.
What are the tunes that you are now working on, man? If we know the same tunes, man, maybe we can do a session sometime. My teacher said that I can start to play with other musicians, privately, as long as we use the metronome, or play along with Peter in his bassline record.
Of course, I'm playing all the things, and also, What Is This Thing, Yesterdays, and Melancholy Baby. I moved the metronome up to 84 beats per minute on the 2 and 4.
Wow man, I also play those tunes. Do you think that all the Tristano-ite players know the same tunes? Phil Schaap often refers to them as the Tristano 10.
Yeah man, I know. When I first heard that, I thought that it was some kind of radical jazz political protest organization from the 1960s.
Wow man, I wish I had been around in the 60s man. Everyone was so fucking stoned all the time man. Man, you know what? We are so fucking lucky to be Tristano-ites, man.
Yes, man, that is so true, man.